I can't believe I'm doing this episode right now. Hi, what's up? It's Jacqueline. Welcome back to the show. So if you're watching this right now or listening, you're probably not a foreign policy expert, okay? But you're probably really good at, this is why it's the perfect episode for you. You're probably really good at detecting toxic relationship patterns, okay? You might be worried about World War III right now, okay? But you're busy. Yes, you're college educated. No, you're not a foreign policy expert, but you're busy. You don't have time to worry about geopolitics. You don't even know what geopolitics means. You don't even know what Hezbollah means, okay? But something else you're probably really good at is detecting or being involved in love triangles, okay? So with that in mind, we are going to be discussing Israel versus Iran and the U.S.'s involvement at a goldfish brain level. Thank you. I thought that was a good idea. I'm going to dumb this down so much. Okay? Let me get the military music on. We're going to be discussing Israel versus Iran versus the U.S. or whatever at a goldfish brain level for you today. I'm going to be discussing this as if we're talking about a high school cafeteria fight where instead of throwing spaghetti, they're throwing nukes, okay? Now, in this episode, there are no dumb questions. No dumb questions. There's no such thing. I think dumb questions are great questions, so we're going to ask a lot of dumb questions today. And I want to put a little disclaimer out there right now, and I want to let you know that this episode is going to be giving ChatGPT college PowerPoint presentation, okay, as if I completed this at 3 a.m. last minute. And I'm reading word for word. It's going to be giving that, but in my opinion, in 2025, if you're not exploiting robots to further the education of your audience, to help erase their brain rot, I consider you a terrible person, okay? I mean, not to be dramatic, but I don't see myself coming back to this microphone in the future discussing like Justin Bieber news or, my stupid, the minutia of my life. Like I currently have a pipe in my bathroom that is putting a scent out that smells like a porta potty. And we are clean people here. We do use the toilet in disgusting ways, but the pipe should not be smelling this way. It's a water pipe, so I'm not sure what's infecting the water or making it smell like that. But I'm sick of talking to you guys. I'm just saying, I love feeling like I'm educating and I'm entertaining at the same time, and it's actually it's good for your brain, you know? So I'm literally saying this, and at the same time, I'm like, I know I'm gonna go back to that stuff next week. Like, I know it, but just let me feel inspired by myself right now. I know I said this was giving last minute college presentation where I crammed it the night before, but honestly, I'm really proud of this. I spent a lot of time on this. I feel after all of my research, I actually understand it thoroughly. I genuinely do. And you know how important that is to me? Because sometimes, or a lot of times, I'm out in the world and I have conversations with people that are super well versed on this topic, especially. And I'll be like, yeah. I don't have anything to add. And they'll be like, oh, you should read this book or that book. And then I sound like, oh yeah, I'll read. And I never read the books, right? So we're changing it up today. Or you guys, okay, let's should I set the scene or say each segment? I want to get this cracking, because I know if I set the scene too much, if I talk about my beverages and my lip gloss too much, if I ramble about my disgusting dinner last night too much and how shitty I feel, and the fact that I woke up at 4:30 a.m. too much when I had a spin class at 6 and I had this entire podcast to prep for and then record, and now it's 1:15 p.m. and my dogs need to go outside because they've been, oh my God. And then I've got gardeners here, and then I've got construction next door. If I go on too much about that, it will be 5 hours. So let me discuss really briefly the segments. So, oh shit, we do have new sound effects here today. So these are the, okay, let's take a breath. Here's a teaser of a sound effect, a fun one for you.
Standing on business, is it?
Okay, cute. These are my first sound effects. Don't make fun of me.
I want to make history. And that's what this is.
Okay, anyway, so I had some fun with my Rodecaster Pro 2. I finally switched it up. So these are the, let's take a breath. These are the segments today. Okay, this is a little warm up before I get into deep dive into each one. We've got the friend group breakdown. The besties versus the frenemies versus the enemies. Okay, we're going to discuss who hates who likes who's secretly jealous of who. I'm talking about countries here. Okay, so we're going to go into that to start. That's going to be your appetizer. Okay, then we're going to get into biblical. I can't even fucking. Okay, we're going to get into the biblical stuff. Okay, really briefly, we're going to talk about the biblical element of this conversation. Then we're going to speed up to the early 1900s, talk about the Zionist setup when everyone started coming back to the Holy Land. Then we're going to talk about the Nakba in 1948, what the hell that was, because I'm sure you've heard the word Nakba and you're like, huh? Like Nakba? What does that mean? Israel just became a thing in 1948? What? I thought that was in the Bible. I thought Israel's always been a thing. So we're going to discuss that. Okay, you're not dumb. You're actually smart. You just don't know the tea on that and like the backstory. Then we're going to talk about the Islamic Revolution and when Ayatollah returns. Shit. The Bikini era, the 70s era in Iran, and the Shah era, and what sparked the snap? Why did the Islamic Revolution happen? The current conflict, the deep lore of that conflict, the real tea and the real beef, the U.S.'s involvement in the political tea in the U.S., what else here? How serious is the situation? We're going to dive a little bit into the military industrial complex. Who's running Iran now? What is the current climate in Iran? How do people live there now and what's changed? And we'll just, at the end, discuss what we learned. I should have been a teacher. Some days I'm like, I should have been a nurse. And then some days I'm like, I should have been a teacher. So I'm a podcast host. It's fine. I'm enjoying this life. It's really fun. I really enjoy this side of podcasting. Like when I sit my ass down and actually learn something for once, where I'm actually like absorbing information and I'm not just talking out of my ass about, again, like pipes in my bathroom. So let me get the plugs out of the way. What music do I want to play for this? Shit. Just go back to this. All right. So please hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening right now. I'm on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Breaker. Is this even worth saying anymore? Stitcher, Breaker, Overcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, probably Apple or Spotify. Please hit that subscribe button and review the show 5 stars while you're there. If you know what Hezbollah means, review the show. Well, I feel like most of you won't. If you don't know what Hezbollah means, review the show 5 stars right now. Or geopolitics. What else did I say? Do you know what a theocracy is? Maybe you forgot what the word theocracy is, or coup. We're going to be discussing that today. Please review the show 5 stars. Okay. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Jacqueline Monroe. And YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is a video and audio podcast. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And patreon.com/TJMS if you want to support the show. It's $5 a month. Patreon.com/TJMS. All right. Is this music getting annoying? I feel like it's annoying. If you're listening right now, you're probably like, just turn that shit off. We just want to hear your soothing voice. So really quickly, I'm going to set the scene. So again, it's way too far in the afternoon. I skipped my nap. I was wide awake at 4:30. I had a spin class at 6. I planned that spin class so I could spin class, glam, set up my studio, and podcast, right? That didn't happen. So I decided I wanted to add more to the podcast than I had originally prepared for. I got in the rabbit hole and I couldn't stop. And now it's 1:20. We're just getting started, and that's fine. Corey's golfing, or he golfed this morning. I think he shot even par. The dogs are sleeping. Actually, they don't. You're probably like, you're a horrible person. Your dogs need to go outside. Like, stop the podcast and go do that. They're fine. They were outside all morning while I was prepping, so I think they're good now. But I always feel mom guilt because I'm like, I know, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're napping. Let me keep it moving. I'm going to a festival tomorrow. I have an Amazon package that was delivered at my front door. That's how you know I was in the rabbit hole. I have a bunch of cute outfits getting delivered today. They've been delivered, and I haven't checked my front door step or brought them in yet because I was just like head down into this research stuff. So I'm going to a festival this weekend here in San Diego. What else is happening? Yeah, okay, like the makeup and the lip gloss and the powder. You guys know I always powder my upper lip during the episode so I don't look shiny on my clips. We're doing the Wet n Wild 5-in-1 Essence Primer Powder. Okay. On a little triangle sponge. And then we're doing the Max Syrup. I think I need to apply more. Max Syrup lipstick. This Ulta brand plumped lip gloss. That's so dumb that I wear this it's so dumb that I'm going to wear this because it's plumping and tingly. And I have a really bad blister on my upper lip that I want gone immediately because I'm going to this festival tomorrow. But I like the glossy lip on camera and I'm that insane. So I'm probably going to do it anyways. Diet Coke, bubbly, cherry flavored, sparkling water, quad espresso on ice. Okay. Who's friends? Who's enemies? Who are frenemies? Who are the besties? Wait, let me reapply this. Let me get into this, you guys. I have so many tabs. Fuck. Do you guys want jazz vibes again? Here's a different vibe for you while I apply my lipstick. I'm so excited about my new sound effects. I've had this Rodecaster for a year and I haven't had any fun with it until now, which is so dumb. It's like, I'm so that kind of person where I like see something every day and I like don't think there's like a better way to use it or to whatever. And I like see it and I don't do anything. So like, what else is like that in my house? I feel like there's always something in my house where I'm like I have this bin full of clothes that just sits there. And I'm like, I just, there's like a TJ Maxx return at the bottom of it. That's probably way too past the time I can return it. And I just had to think about what am I seeing in my house that I'm missing? This probably an ADHD thing, and it's just, anyways, that's always there. That damn bin full of clothes and stuff. There's always a bin or a chair full of clothes for no reason. All right. So lip gloss is on. Let's talk about who hates who likes who, and get into this podcast. We're doing it right now. How many minutes are we in? I feel like we did a good intro there. That wasn't too long. This music's too sweet for this topic. We're just going to go no music. So Iran. Here's the thing. Am I going to say Iran or Iran this entire episode? I need to pick a side or pick a lane or whatever, because I'm going to be saying it a lot in this episode. And I feel like if I remember, Obama says Iran. Am I going to do how Obama says it? Or Iran. Now, one time back in the day when I had YouTube, when it was fun and you would watch stupid videos, I was really into one time back in the day. What am I saying? This was like 7th grade when I got my MacBook for the first time and I had YouTube, and my friends in middle school and I would like watch stupid YouTube videos all day. And I remember being obsessed with, not the Saturday Night Live sketches. Was it like Mad TV? Was it called Mad TV or something? Anyways, they had this. Am I getting that right? Mad TV. Maybe it was like Saturday Night. It was like Saturday Night Live, but not. Whatever. Anyways, there was this stupid, not stupid. I don't remember. It's probably funny, but they had again, getting into the weeds. We need to get on the topic, but there was this video and there was a shoe, and you know how the iPhone and the app, everything was iMac, iPhone, what else is there? iPod, everything was and so they had this segment about Iran, but it was like Iran. So I think I've always said Iran because of that stupid video, but like, I think it's Iran. And I listened to, is it Patrick Bet David? PBD, isn't he Iranian? Fuck. I think he says Iran. I always hear it because he's from Iran, right? Anyways, I'm going to just kind of freeball it. I might say Iran. I'm probably going to say Iran and Iran. Oh, who cares? I'm not trying to be okay. Another thing is like, I literally consulted ChatGPT about like what I'm wearing how I should do my hair. I mean, this is insane. It's like, listen to your own intuition, like make your, like, you don't like, that's insane. I had to go this far, but I was like, what should I wear discussing this topic today so I don't look like I'm not being insensitive or overly provocative, or like I am wearing a lash strip. I feel like that's pushing it a little bit, but I'm trying. Okay, here's the thing. I'm trying to learn about this in a light way where, like, yes, it's serious. Yes, I've seen all the videos and I've seen the massacre and I've seen the genocide and I've seen the explosions and I've seen the horrible baby images and kids and all of that. And I've seen what's going on. I have a heart. I'm not a shitty person. I just want to keep this pretty neutral and neutral light. Okay. So I'm trying to, like, I'm not making fun of countries here. I'm not making fun of people, cultures, religions. I'm trying to do objective, unbiased journalism here. Should I give you my real thoughts? So stay until the end of the episode to find out my honest thoughts and like where I stand on the issue. Maybe should I just fully take my ponytail out and just tell you, because I think I have a changed heart on the situation after doing the research. And yeah, I didn't know what I didn't know. Let's just put it that way. And it's very eye-opening. So let's like get there, right? Like you might come to a new conclusion in your head while you listen to this yourself. So Iran, we're going to say Iran, Iran's vibe. Let's get into it. Too light of music to, here's my other music. Wait, no, that's too, I just think I got to like do no music. No. Yeah. We got to, sorry. I'm too excited about my new music. Sorry. Iran, the vibe. Okay. Who is she? What's she like? We're going to kind of refer to these countries as women. I know I said it's a love triangle. Okay. This is a 3-way lesbian love triangle on the episode today. All these countries are going to be discussed as if they're women. Okay. Iran is that goth bitch at school. Okay. She has nuclear ambitions. She's gothic. She's also got deep daddy issues and a secret OnlyFans for weapons tech. Okay. So that's Iran. That's the vibe. Now she's besties with Russia. Russia arms her and they bond over anti-West vibes and trauma. Okay. These are her besties. Okay. So we've got Russia, China, Syria, and Hezbollah and Hamas. China's her sugar daddy. Okay. China buys her oil and doesn't ask any questions. Okay. She kind of likes that there's tension between Iran and the US. China does. Okay. Like they're kind of like secretly into that because it helps, like it acts as a counterbalance to China and America. It's like a, yeah. I'm doing my best. We're in the first segment. Okay. Okay. So Syria's Assad regime. Syria and Iran crash on each other's couches. Okay. Just remember that. They're like homies like that. Okay. They smoke weed together. They're chill. They chill on each other's couches. Now, Hezbollah, this is where we're going to learn about what is I started the episode by saying you're busy. Yes, you're college educated, but you're busy. You have bills to pay. You don't know what, you hear the word Hezbollah and you're like, Hezbollah? Like, what is Hezbollah? I think before I did my research, I knew it was a military group and I was correct. So they're from Lebanon. They're Iran's military BFF. They are funded by Iran, armed by Iran, codependent, very emotionally codependent with Iran. And Hezbollah started as a resistance to Israel or Israeli occupation. Okay. And this makes sense that Iran is like, we fuck with you, Hezbollah, because they literally border Lebanon borders Hezbollah, Lebanon. It's kind of, we're going to kind of blend the two. Lebanon's a country, but it borders Israel. Okay. And Iran doesn't border Israel. They're kind of out there in the middle. And that's their geography is like dead center in the Middle East. So Hamas, besties. Okay. Obviously Iran's fucking Venmo. These are my analogies here. So Hamas is in Gaza. They're besties with Iran because they basically Venmo each other for rocket parts. Okay. That's the vibe. Iran. That's why Israel fucking hates them. Okay. Now, who are Iran's enemies. So this is like, again, the appetizer. We're going to get into like who hates, like the friend group, who we need to know, like who hates each other, who likes each other, who's in bed with each other, who's jealous of each other, right? So like, that's why we're starting out with this. Then we're going to get into some history. But first of all, number one enemy of Iran, Israel, okay? They want Israel gone, okay? Like literally off the map. So like they don't acknowledge that it should be a place at all, and they want to fucking destroy it. So number one enemy of Iran is Israel. Saudi Arabia, they're a religious rivalry, and it's like they sexted the same dude. Okay, that's a ChatGPT reference. There's going to be a lot of obvious ChatGPT references. If you read my prompt, what I told it, I'm clinically insane. I mean, that's why you're going to get some of these goofy, like references. Okay. So, they don't like Saudi Arabia or the US. We've sanctioned the hell out of them. We have this CIA history, meddling, involvement. We'll discuss Operation Ajax in a second. Okay. And what that means. Okay. Cause I learned all about Operation Ajax. And basically how we honestly just like fuck this shit up for ourselves, in my opinion. We'll just kind of say that, in my opinion. I mean, there's so many ways you can, this is very complicated. So, it's messy. They hate the US. I think they call us, it's like Satan. What do they say? Like we're basically Satan. So, Israel. Now, who does Israel like? Who does Israel hate? Let's get to my old sound effect that you guys all know and love here. I think it's this one. Cute, right? Okay, I miss her. She's kind of on my other tab over here where I don't really get to click her anymore. Okay, Israel, the vibe. She's the girl that transferred mid-year. Okay, it's like, wait, what's the Mean Girls thing? It's like, she doesn't even go here, right? Like that's the vibe. Israel's like, she doesn't even go here. That's how she's seen. Okay, in the Middle East. Is Israel in the Middle East? No, I feel like it is. I have a map here of the Middle East. I literally have it. Yeah, it's got. Honestly, it even includes these African countries: Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia was considered Middle East. So yeah, Israel's part of it, right? So she doesn't even go here. That's the vibe. She got rich fast. Israel got rich fast. She joined a modeling agency, aka the UN, and now everyone's suspicious of her. So that's Israel. She's besties with the US, of course. Besties with benefits. We give her money, weapons, global protection. She's also besties with the UK. The UK's got a weird uncle energy about her, but she's still supportive. She. I'm like making all these women, but like UK's the weird uncle. Okay. He's fucking weird, but he's supportive of Israel. Germany is a guilt sponsored friendship, obviously for obvious reasons. So they're besties with Germany, as they should be at this point. If you know, you know, like obviously, so I'm talking about the Holocaust, what happened, Nazis, Hitler. Okay. Enemies, Iran, number one, obviously. Hezbollah and Hamas, obviously we discussed that. They're frenemies with Saudi Arabia. So this is interesting. They're like friendly, but like don't want to be. There's like tension there. So they both hate Iran. And they're annoyed that they're both Gulf countries and rich and unbothered. Why are they frenemies with Saudi Arabia? They both hate Iran. There's something here about the Abraham Accords I didn't research. Honestly, I don't know what that means. I've seen Abraham Accords, but I don't know what it means. Basically, there's like secret jealousy with Saudi Arabia. I don't know the tea on that. Let's put a pin on that. If I remember at the very end after the 4th hour, maybe I'll go back to it. But like, just know they're frenemies with Saudi Arabia. I think that's good enough. All right, moving on to the biblical angle of all of this really quickly, okay? Because I remember I went to Catholic school. I keep bringing this up. Like the last few episodes, I keep telling stories about Catholic school. And I remember like the Israelites, Israel was in the Bible, Israel. And then when October 7th happened and all this chaos has been ensuing, I've heard the word Nakba, 1948. Israel became a state in 1948. And I'm like, is that what do you call it? Is that a Mandela effect? I'm like, does everyone remember Israel from the Bible? And yet it's actually only been a thing since 1948. Like literally I was going crazy and like, I could have looked that up. Right. Like I feel like I knew that there was something right with 1948. And I was like, that's good enough for my brain. Like it became a state. I didn't really understand why. Okay. So, but let's just clear this up. So Israel is both a Bible character or like okay, I'm not going to call it a character. The question is it from the Bible or is it actually a country? Okay, you get it. How am I doing? You guys want to like give me a little debrief right now? I feel like I need. Okay, I was gonna TikTok live this entire episode to like get feedback while I was doing it for the first time. I never do live streams, but I've been exploring the idea of being a live streamer recently because I can hold the attention for so long and do this with no issue. Okay, no second guessing, just fucking plow forward. So ancient Israel, think the kingdom of the Jewish people, Old Testament, King David, King Solomon, the first temple, etc. Okay. It existed around 1000 BC to 586 BC. And it's been conquered and reconquered by empires, the Assyrians, the Babylonians, and the Romans, right? So it's been around since 1000 BC, Israel. So you're not so if you were like, wait, I'm hearing 1948 and Jacqueline's telling me, no, it's been around since 1000 BC. Like, yes, like it's always been a thing. I'll explain 1948 in a second. And when it became a state officially and what that even means. So after the Romans crushed a Jewish revolt around 135 AD, they renamed the land Palestina. It's actually like a really pretty girl's name, Palestina. Or Palestine to humiliate Jews and erase Jewish ties. Jews were scattered. That was called the diaspora, but many stayed, or it's called the diaspora. I don't know. I think it's like a disbursement of the Jews, but many stayed later returned. So yes, Israel is an ancient term, but the modern state of Israel didn't exist until 1948. Are you guys clear? Okay. So we'll get to the 1948 thing because it's important to this story and the lore, but it was, so they renamed the land Palestine when the Romans crushed a Jewish revolt around 135 after Jesus' death. They renamed the land Palestine to humiliate Jews and erase Jewish ties. The Jews were scattered, but many of them stayed or later returned. So they were there. The Romans came in, were like, fuck you, basically. And then we're calling this Palestine. So technically they were there. It's like very complicated. I know that's like the thing. It's like, well, they've always been there. Why do they, So let's speed it up to the early 1900s and the Zionist setup. Okay. You probably hear the word you hear Zionism, Zionist. What does that mean? Should we do this? I just want to keep it light and chill. So this is when everyone started coming back. Okay. In the late 1800s, Jewish intellectuals in Europe started the Zionist movement, calling for a Jewish homeland in their ancestral land. We just discussed why it's ancestral, because it's been there since 1000 BC. Okay. The land is under Ottoman control, aka the Turkish Empire, and is already populated by mostly Arab Muslims and Christian Arabs. Britain takes over after World War I in 1917 via the British Mandate for Palestine. This is important. Britain promises both Arabs and Jews that they'll get a state. Okay, so World War I, Britain takes over the land via the British Mandate for Palestine, and they promise both Arabs and Jews that they'll get a state. So what is Zionism? It's a political movement to reestablish a Jewish homeland in what was historically Judea and Israel. It's a reaction to anti-Semitism in Europe, aka the Holocaust, aka you know what happened there. So it's like, I'm trying to think of an analogy here. It's like if two families, it's literally like, okay, you're renting an Airbnb and another family rents it, the same exact Airbnb at the same place at the same time, and no one cancels. Like, you're both going to show up there and you're like, I'm staying here, I booked this. And they're like, I'm staying here, I booked this. It's like, what do you do? That's the vibe. Okay. So let's talk about the Nakba. Okay. We're moving forward to 1948. So we talked about the early 1900s, post World War I, and the British Mandate for Palestine. They'll both have a state. Moving forward to the Nakba. You've probably heard the word Nakba. Let's get into it. So this was both the hard launch and the fallout. So after the Holocaust, the world started, just in general, the reaction of what happened in the Holocaust was, we want to support a Jewish state. We want to support Jewish people. There was, a lot of support for that. And so the UN proposed a two-state solution. You've probably heard that two-state solution thing. In 1947, both a Jewish state and an Arab state. The Jews accept, the Arabs reject, and because they feel like it's their land. And on May 14th, 1948, Israel declared its independence. Arab states, Egypt, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, and Iraq immediately invade. Okay. Israel wins. So there's a war, the Nakba. Israel wins the war, expands its territory, and 750,000 Palestinians are expelled. They're displaced. So you've probably heard of that, right? And it's known as, so the Palestinians, so the Nakba is known as, I think that's a word, it's a word for catastrophe. Nakba is catastrophe. So the Palestinians are displaced. Israel declares its independence, May 14th, 1948. And the Nakba, so the definition of Nakba, is the displacement and dispossession of Palestinians after Israel's founding. So that's literally when it became an official state, because they won the war and declared their independence. I don't know how many people died in that. That was one thing I was going to look up. Like, how deadly was the Nakba? How deadly was the Nakba in 1948? Just really quickly, guys. We got to layer some things in that I missed. Okay. Can you clarify what you mean by Nakba? Oh, here we go. So it displaced. Yeah. Estimated death toll and violence, estimated 13,000 plus Arab deaths, both military and civilian, including Palestinians and soldiers. Roughly 6,000 Jews were killed, about 1% of the population at the time. Dozens of massacres occurred. Just a full-on massacre, war, death situation. Horrible. So it's just like crazy I don't know why. For me, it's really hard to wrap my head around the war. I don't know, like the barbaric or the hatred. I mean, I get it, but like, it's just so like, it's so hard. It's very difficult. I always like to put myself in people's shoes, but like, I don't know. I just like to go to the level of death and destruction that they're both going to right now is like, it's so foreign to me. But it's so like they're just, it's just how they're raised. It's how they think. It's what their people have been through. They have no other I feel like they have no other choice. That's how they feel. I don't know what it feels like as an American to get to that point where you're like, I have no other choice than to fucking hate these other people and want to literally kill them. And I'll risk my own life. Like I see these women in Gaza that are like ready to sacrifice themselves. Like, for the cause. Like it's crazy. Like I'm so, it's something I'll, God willing, never have to understand or get to mentally. But anyways, so we did the Nakba. All right, the lore. Let's get into Operation Ajax, the Shah. What even is the Shah? The lore of the Shah. So let me just like put it this way. Iran used to be hot and chill. Okay. It was basically in the 1970s, Tehran was like, it was like the Real Housewives of Tehran. Okay. Women wore bikinis. There were, nightclubs and just, it was sexy. Okay. It was a sexy place to be. You've probably seen pictures, right? I even asked, was that all propaganda or was that legit? It was legit. Okay. Literally that's how Iran looked. That's how the people dressed. That's how the women, they weren't covered. Yeah. So I'm going to explain like why it used to be hot and chill and why it's not now. In my opinion, it's not hot and chill. Like maybe you think Iran is hot and chill and perfectly fine now. It's hard for me as a Westerner to see that. Again, just difference in belief and religion and values, morals, ethic, all of that. Like it's hard for me as an American to like really like see it that way. That's what's so wild to me. Like I always deep think, right? Like I'm getting really into my brain right now, but I'm so fascinated by the polarity between how Westerners think and live and operate versus like these countries we consider radicalized and, destructive and oppressive in the Middle East, but they're thinking like that's the vibe. And we're like, fuck that. They're the same with us though. They like hate us for the way we are. And it's just like, how did our creator, whoever made us or whatever's going on in the background, like spit that out? Like, you know what I mean? Especially in modern times. Like, it seems like, why are we still doing this? Actually the answer for everything, I just answered the question. Like, okay, there's difference in belief, whatever. But like at the end of the day, all of this has to do with fucking money. So we'll get into that. Peace is not good for business. It never has been. And so just know that I'll probably in the course of my career here on the podcast, I'll be reporting on a lot of wars and is this going to be my new niche? Am I going to be a war correspondent? An independent war fucking you guys, my mom was a news reporter. I don't know if you know that. And she was like on the way to being who's like the 60 Minutes chick who will go out in the field in the Middle East during the war in Iraq and wear like the fucking bulletproof vest. And she was just like blonde and like just out there, like my mom, like that's probably if she like, that was probably her, if she didn't like, have us 3 kids and like, switch careers or whatever, like she probably that was probably the end goal. So I'm kind of like living that dream out for her right now for you. Hi mom, I know you're listening. She sent me a picture. She was listening to my podcast and she's like, she sent me a picture of her clothesline back home at my childhood house. She sent a picture of the clothesline. She was like hanging towels. And she's like, I listened to your podcast. You were talking about how you miss that smell of laundry hanging on the line. I'm like, I literally like throw our sheets and shit outside over our deck. It's so tacky and like, whatever. I don't care. It's like, no one can see it. But, just to like smell that like fresh air smell. Anyways, moving on. So the lore of the Shah, Operation Ajax, what the hell happened in the 70s? Why was it so hot and chill? So let's just start off with this. So Iran had a prime minister named Mohammed Mossadegh. Mohammed Mossadegh. Mossadegh. Cool. So he wanted to nationalize Iranian oil. What does nationalizing oil mean? Like, let's get into the weeds here. So it basically means the government takes back control of its resources to benefit citizens, not foreign companies. So they wanted to keep that shit for themselves. And they wanted to take control away from British oil companies. The US and the UK freak out, okay? This hurts their wallets when this prime minister is like, I want to nationalize our oil in Iran. You know, shit hits the fan basically. So in 1953, so that's the thing. It's all about money, right? But like, we're so fucking like, why are we so obsessed with Iran? They're fucking oil. It's like their location is like dead center in the Middle East. That's important geopolitically, I think, from what I read. And the fucking oil. We're so obsessed with Iran's oil. And we freaked out. Okay. When they wanted to nationalize their oil, we freaked out. The UK freaked out. And this is where shit gets messy and shady. And of course, the US got involved in a fucking shady way. Proud to be an American. God bless America. Also, fuck America. Like, honestly, I don't know if this was the right move, Operation Ajax, and what we did in 1953. So in 1953, the CIA stages a coup. Okay. A coup is a sudden, often illegal overthrow of government, usually by military or foreign interference. You probably learned that in your world history class in high school. There's your refresher. Okay. I need to use more sound effects. I feel like I'm not using them to their full potential today. Okay. So that's what a coup is. And the coup is Operation Ajax, basically. So, and the goal was to overthrow Mohammed Mossadegh, I'm probably saying that so wrong. I think it's Mossadegh, their prime minister. The whole goal of it was to overthrow their prime minister who wanted to nationalize the oil. Okay. So they install Mohammed. They literally were like, okay, we're going to overthrow this prime minister and install someone we want. His name was Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi, a Western friendly monarch. Okay. And he was the king of Iran so he was this, Pahlavi guy that they installed during the coup was the king of Iran from 1941 to 1979. So he was already there. They had the prime minister. There's like an overlap, but then when the CIA came in and they basically overthrew Mossadegh, they put that guy in full power after 1953. So the Shah Pahlavi, Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi, was in full power after 1953. Okay. He was very pro-Western, modernizing, but he increasingly, and we'll get to this, he became increasingly authoritarian. Okay. We're going at the level I'm at. Okay. If I'm struggling with pronouncing a word, we're going to go at the level I'm at and we're not going to judge me. Okay. We're learning together at my pace. Okay. He loved fashion, planes, Western glam. He hated democracy. How does that work? Before 1979, people wore bikinis. Tehran had nightclubs. Women were doctors and movie stars. It was modern, wealthy, and aligned with the West, aka our favorite shit. So we basically turned Iran into like LA. Like it was like literally like people lived their life. Like there's some tea to that though. We'll get into the tea, but it looked like, if you see these pictures and videos from the 70s, it was in that Shah era, it almost looked like Italy. Like I guess like, especially like the pictures of the beach, like it was such a vibe. And so when I think those pictures came out initially, or I saw them for the first time a couple years ago, they've been around, but I didn't know about that. It was such a mind fuck because the way I look at Iran now is like, you know, Sharia law and the fucking hijabs. The women they can't even laugh, or they literally, it's like You can't have you can't shake your ass on a TikTok, or of course you can't. It's like, I mean, that's like the worst offense. I think that's a jail. That's lifetime in prison in Iran right now. So to see that juxtaposition where you're like, how is it like this in the Shah era in the 70s? But again, there's tea on that. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows and freedom and, luxury like it looked. Okay. So the CIA's role in this Operation Ajax situation where they overthrew the prime minister, basically they paid mobs to riot. They ran fake news in Iranian papers and bribed generals to flip. So basically the prime minister was trying to help his people by nationalizing their oil. He's trying to contain the money, help or whatever. Like that cut off our supply, or that fucked shit up for our wallets. So and the UK's. And so we put a new guy in that was very pro-Western, or he was a previous king. He's still the king, but now he's in charge. And the place turns into LA, and it's a vibe. There's nightclubs, women wear bikinis, they're doctors, and they're free, and everything's happy snappy. And basically, we did all of that so we could manipulate them, basically, so we could get more money. There's I'll get into the realty. I do have notes here. It's like there was the underlying motivation of that was for monetary purposes, like the US's involvement, the CIA going in there and doing what they did was literally a money thing, obviously, but I'll explain specifically why turning Iran into a Western aligning country, or culture, excuse me, was good for us, and what the purpose of that, what's the purpose of that, So I'm trying to think of an analogy. It's like imposing what's like a really good analogy? I feel like it's like imposing, it's like you go into someone's house and you're like, and I don't know, I'm trying to think of their decor is all super mid-century and funky and cool, and you're like, no, beige everything, bitch. Like you come in and you're like, no, now everything's beige and now everything's aesthetic and now everything's like a neutral tone, and you're like going, it's like we went into their house and we just completely, they already had this beautiful culture, this beautiful art culture, everything about Iran before that, under the prime minister's rule and the past dynasties and everything, was this beautiful culture. It wasn't how it is today. Okay, let's just put it that way. It's definitely progressed into something it didn't look like before. And then, so it was all good and well. And then they're like, the prime minister's like, we're going to nationalize our oil. Then the US and the UK freak out. And then we're like, beige fucking everything, right? Like we go into their house that was beautiful, artistic, mid-century, modern, gorgeous, amazing art on the walls. And we're like, no, that's not the vibe. It's bad for our nervous system to look at color. So we're going to, get all this shit out of your house and we're going to neutralize everything. Like that we basically imposed our way of life onto a country for our own benefit at the end of the day. Like it was for our own benefit, for our wallet. That's what that whole Operation Ajax shit was about. So, okay, let's go into the realty, the deep lore here. So what happened in 1979 is everything. Okay, that's when the party shut down. And this segment is going to be, let me get to my stupid jingle. Wait, fuck, where is it? Can you hear that banging noise? This is not... This is my desk warped? Something's warped, whatever. So this is when the party got shut down, 1979. This is the Islamic Revolution and when the Ayatollah returns. So after years of corruption, censorship, and torture under the Shah, the people snapped. Now, when I read that, I was like, wait a minute. I thought it was this utopia in Iran under the Shah's power. I thought women were in bikinis and life was good and there were nightclubs and it was a vibe. And it was like, what did I call it? The Real Housewives of Tehran vibes. Like it was thriving. Like I thought Iran was thriving. Like apparently the people snapped because they're under the Shah's power. There's actually a lot of corruption, censorship, and torture. Like that doesn't line up. So yeah, here's the real tea. So this is what we see. This is the bikini area. I keep saying area. Oh my God. I said that earlier. So what we see, right? We see women in miniskirts, nightlife in Tehran, imported American goods, universities, and liberal dress codes, right? Especially in the elite circles. So the wealthy people were living that way, right? And why that happened was because the Shah, backed heavily by the US and Britain, especially after that 1953 CIA-led coup, pushed aggressive modernization and secularism to turn Iran into a Western-style nation state. So in that era where it looked like a utopia, the people who benefited were a small elite class in cities, especially those aligned with the monarchy or Western corporations, okay? So there was a gap, a huge wealth gap, a huge lifestyle gap between the rich elites dancing in European gowns and the starving masses, okay? The disparity became impossible to ignore. So while we were seeing these images of Iran's a utopia, people are fucking starving, okay? And then there was religious backlash. I think people were like waking up. They're like, this isn't Iran. Like, what the fuck? You know, like this isn't how we've been living and what is going, like they kind of like the dust settled and they like their eyes opened. People were starving. There was corruption. The richer were getting richer. The poor were getting poorer. Kind of like our country. It's kind of giving America in 2025. Anyways, there was, let me just move on. The religious backlash. So Western values like bikinis and alcohol in public were seen by many as an attack on Islamic identity and morality. Let me powder my upper lip before I introduce Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. We're going to have to pronounce that 15 times to get it down. Ruhollah Khomeini. Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. He returns from exile in France, okay? He's like, fuck this shit. I've been called on by God to save Iran. Okay. This bitch, no, I'm kidding. Honestly, his intentions were good. Like, you got to give it to him. Like, again, it's like they fucked up, or they went into the US, the UK, fucking meddled, got their hands in the pot, erased the culture of Iran and what it was, and basically imposed the Western way of being on a country that wasn't Western, okay? And this guy, this priest basically, who was exiled in France, I don't know what he did, but he comes back and he's like, God told me I need to save Iran, basically. So this is the Islamic Revolution, okay? This is what happened. So Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. I think he goes by Ali. He's the guy you're seeing on the news, the older man with the beard, talking a lot, okay? He leads a religious revolution to turn Iran into an Islamic republic, a return to religious law, Islamic values, and justice, and the end of foreign imposing and domination. So women go from miniskirts to mandatory hijabs overnight. The U.S. goes from bestie to enemy, okay? And Iran becomes deeply anti-West, anti-Israel, and anti-anyone telling them how to live. So this is a reaction to U.S. involvement and westernizing a country that wasn't Western in the name of because money and oil, because of resources in Iran that we're fucking obsessed with. and need, and my sister's FaceTiming me. I have to text her. I'm podcasting. Worst time. Shit. Podcasting. She's probably got a wedding planning question for me. I really feel bad because her wedding's in like a month, and I'll call her back after this. I should ask her like what her take is on all of this. Like, yeah, we did that shit because we needed money. Like everything else in the world, it fucking rules the world, you know? We're in so much debt. I don't know how we're going to get out. Like what are we going to do? Is this why everything's so apathetic now and like no one fucking has hope about anything in the future? Like it's just sad. I don't know. I like don't want to spiral right now, but we cannot go to war. Okay, like as a society, no, like literally keep the boots on the ground in America and have them fight for our country like let's focus on the people at home, for God's sake. We started this shit. We don't need to finish it. We won't finish it. It's not going to end pretty. And a lot of fucking American troops are going to die. So keep their fucking boots on our land, please.
It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
Keep their boots on the ground.
At the beach.
I love that video. I love Justin Bieber. Okay. So, okay. Anyways, that was my little rant there. Cool. We're going to move on. So Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini returns from exile in France. He leads this revolution. Women go, okay, we did that. Overnight, Islamic law values, anti-West values, anti-Israel, everything's anti anyone trying to fuck with them or change how they're living. Okay. Now, at the time, this was in 1979. Okay. The Islamic Revolution. U.S. embassy workers are taken hostage for 444 days. This happens right after the revolution. Now, who was this guy? Khomeini. I can say it. Khomeini. I know that's annoying. Sorry. Khomeini. He was a religious leader, aka like a priest, a cleric, exiled by the Shah for preaching against Westernization. Did I say that weird? Westernization. So the Shah was pro-Western. Okay. He was part of that utopia vibe that was installed by the US, by the CIA, like we talked about that. So he was exiled by the Shah for preaching against Westernization. He spent 15 years in exile in Iraq and France before returning like a messiah figure. He became the supreme leader of Iran until his death in 1989. Wait a minute. Oh God, we fucked up. No. There's another Ayatollah. Shit. Okay, the guy on the news is not this guy. God damn it. Do I have to re-record this segment now to clear that up? Go at my pace. Okay, we just fucked up, but we're gonna like retract, and get back on the rails. Okay, so Ruhollah, their names are so like potato. This sounds so. I'm not being insensitive. They just sound so potato to potato to me. There's a new guy. Okay, the new guy now is God damn it, and he's got a son who's gonna be the heir. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Wait. He's been the supreme. Wait, did I say he died? Wait, I'm confusing myself. Became supreme leader of Iran until his. Oh, wait a minute. Their names aren't the same. Okay, Ali. Okay, so since 1989, so that guy died, the first Ayatollah. Ayatollah is like a leader. There's a definition for it, but let me see if I have that definition actually, because I think I wrote it down. I don't think I do. So Khomeini died in 1989. This new guy, the guy you're seeing on the news, is Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Fuck. I'm just going to go with it. He's like 86, I think. And I think he has cancer. We'll get into that. That's who the guy on the news is. So Islamic Revolution, 1979. This Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini returns from exile in France. Okay. He was exiled because he spoke out against westernization by the Shah. Okay. He comes back and he's like, you know, we want our country back. I don't know if God told him to do this. I think it's the next guy that told him to do that. Anyways, we'll get into that. But anyway, so then he dies in 1989. New guy comes in. Okay. Now let's get into like why we care, our involvement. Did I skip a step here? I just want to make sure I explain. I think you guys get the vibe. The Ayatollah, the new one, I want to say the new one from what I read was like, God told me to do this. Yeah. Let's just move on. Okay. Let's get some jazz music back. So why does the US care? Why are we like so obsessed with Iran? Let's take a breath. Do I need to open a Diet Coke? What time is it? It's 2:12. I feel like we're on a good pace right now. We're about 3/4 of the way through. If you're like, how long is this gonna go? All right. So it's giving toxic X we can't block our relationship with Iran. Why are we so obsessed with them? Obviously, because of oil, location, and control. We want to control the world as a country, and here in the US, we want to control everything. We want to put our hands in every society, every country, every part of. We want to be. We're just. What's that kind of? Is that a It's kind of psychotic to like. It's like good for like optically. It's like, okay, that makes us seem powerful. Like we want to be. I guess we need like, I don't know. It's like good for our safety if we're like in control of everything, I guess. But then people hate us because we get overly involved. Okay. So oil location and control. That's why we're obsessed with them. Iran is a huge country with massive oil reserves. It sits right on the Persian Gulf and is the influencer of many smaller groups across the Middle East. The U.S. hasn't been obsessed with, or the U.S. has been obsessed, excuse me. We've been obsessed with containing Iran since they ditched the West in 1979. So when that Ayatollah guy came in and immediately everything became an Islamic state overnight, the women were like, bikinis in 78, 79, hijabs. Okay. When that happened, we were like, like we want to contain this shit. We want to, we want to get back to what we were doing before with the westernization of it all, which is so like, again, with like turning their house beige, like a mommy blogger, mommy TikToker influencer in the US. It's like, that's not how they live, but like, why were we so obsessed with westernizing this country? I think I get into that a little more. There's like the lore of, I think I have notes on it. There was a reason why, or I read about it. I don't know if I included it in this, but it was, it's almost like it's a psychological thing. Like if they live like us, dress like us, buy similar, I think what also, so it was an economic decision or the purpose was, like if we could put our Western companies in Iran because they bought the products that we brought. So that was good for our money or our business. That was good for business, I think. If we had a bikini shop in Iran, that was good for the bikini store, the bikini companies in the US, if that makes sense. You get it? So like, that was like the reason why I'm like, but it just seems so insane. It's like, It's like forcing someone to become trans who's like, I am a woman. I don't want to change. I don't want to be a man. Or like, what's a good analogy? Like, yeah, like it's like literally forcing a sex change on a country. They don't like for a reason, but the reason is like, can't we figure out a different way to make money and to source oil? Like, come on. Like, isn't there like a fucking well under our country we can, I mean, like, where's the oil? Who are our allies and are they willing to give us oil so we don't have to fucking deal with these countries that hate us? All right. Okay. So Iran has funded an armed groups the US doesn't like. Think Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, and various Iraqi militaries. To us, that's terrorism. To Iran, it's resistance. We don't like the terrorism of it all. We don't like the radicalization of it all, okay? We don't like the barbaric ways they fucking kill people, like just chopping body parts off. You know, like it's not the vibe. We're like super against that. Okay? We see that as terrorism, these groups, okay? And they're fucking with Israel, our bestie, okay? And we're not like cool with that. So let's go through the beef checklist, the US beef checklist, okay? We're mad at Iran because we put in a puppet government situation with the Shah, the king, the pro-Western guy, okay? And they took that puppet government away from us during the Islamic Revolution overnight. Bye. I don't know if it was like immediate Sharia law, but it was like, the vibe was like Islamic values. It became a religious state. Like it was no longer a democratic, was it a democratic state under the Shah? What was that? It was called something else. Anyways, the beef checklist. They took our puppet government away. They keep threatening our allies and they hate us and call us the Great Satan. Okay. They refer to us now as the Great Satan. We fucking hate them now because we're like, no, we're trying to, I don't know. It's not like we're trying to help. It's like, it's like it's so sick. It's so toxic. Like we're trying to help ourselves. We're not trying to help, like, we think we're helping their people, but like we kind of are because it became extremely, like there's a lot of brutality after the Islamic Revolution towards the people, a lot of struggle, you know, like we were trying to like reduce that, police that. So this is the money angle. We've sanctioned them hard. Okay. No trade, no money transfers, no international bank access, but they still sell oil mostly to China. Okay. If you're like, what does sanctioned mean? What does sanctioned mean? It's a threatened penalty for disobeying a law or a rule. Cute. So we sanction them hard. Okay. Just no ties, okay, to Iran in the from the US. No, we cut the umbilical cord, okay? Current conflict. Let's get into Israel versus Iran. Fucking chat GBT right here. It's basically, I can't even read this out loud. Okay, like, it's basically The Bachelor, but with nukes. That's the vibe. Iran's trying to get the final rose, aka the nuclear weapon. But in reality, they're only about 85 to 90% of the way to building a nuke, aka to getting the final rose. It's a flex, it's a threat, and a bargaining chip to have a nuke. Israel's like, not on my watch, bitch. And they're snitching to Daddy America, okay? That's the vibe. I'm not going to say that's the vibe again on this podcast. That's the last time I'm saying it. Try to keep this girly and light, neutral light. So, like, if they get a nuke, Israel's like, we're dead. That can't happen. And they snitched to the US and they're like, hey, fucking help us out over here. They're about to complete a nuke, and who knows where that's going to go. They know where it's going to go. It's going to go on their fucking land and kill them all. Okay. But basically that couldn't happen. No nukes allowed in Iran, according to the probably a lot more. There's so many countries that are probably against that. It's not just the US and Israel. Like, obviously the Europe, I don't know, like all the other countries that are besties with Israel. Is Russia down with it? Like, I feel like they're secretly down with it. I don't know. Okay. So let's break it down. Iran's nuclear Iran's nuclear progress is about 85% there. Now, this is a recent event. You've seen the videos of missiles firing into Tehran from Israel and rockets penetrating Tel Aviv. And you've seen World War III fucking TikTok videos. People are like, is World War III starting? Okay. Missiles are firing between two countries. The US, like, we thought Trump was anti-war, and he's basically saying, like, not on my watch. Like, they're not going to fuck with Israel. So we're going to fucking, we got to do what we got to do. I think he's pro, like, drone strikes and, like, strategic targeting instead of, like, our troops being over there. That's like modern war. That's how modern warfare is now. It's more like, is that what, like, Obama did too? He was, like, known for that. He really used those drones at the time he was in office. I don't know. It's all crazy. It's basically the Bachelor, but with nukes. Cool. Israel launched airstrikes on Iranian targets. They assassinated Iranian nuclear scientists and bombed Iranian targets in Syria. Now, remember, Syria and Iran are besties, and they crash on each other's couches. So there are Iranian targets in Syria. Israel bombed those people. They bombed the nuclear facilities in Iran. Basically, they targeted the sensitive areas and people that were involved in building a nuke. And again, they were 85% of the way there. I think under Biden, he was like, yeah, they can't have a nuke, but there wasn't like was he more passive about it? Like, I don't know, what's the difference now, like, that Trump's in office? Because why are they fucking around and trying to find out with Trump in there? I feel like Trump's more hardcore. Like, I think they got to 85% under Biden because it was so passive. Like, they got away with it. Where now Trump's in and he's like, that's not happening. So, U.S. is involved because, of course, we are. If they get a nuke, it destabilizes the region. It's already destabilized, in my opinion. Like, has it ever been stable in the Middle East? Like, you know what I mean? So, all right, this is the real tea, the deep lore. We're going deeper into the lore. We already went deep earlier with, what did we discuss? Like the history side of this, but we're going deeper. So Iran, oh my God. What time is it? 2:25 p.m. I got it. I can do it. I'm deflating. We're going to crack open a bubbly and inflate a little bit here. I'm going to cross ingest Diet Coke and a bubbly. I'm going to cross chug. I'm so sorry, guys. This is probably the most annoying sound. How are we looking on the lips? I feel like I need to reapply something. We're just going to do a little lip gloss break. Thank you for staying with me up until this time of the show. I think today's the first day of summer. Happy summer. I think it's also the longest day of the year, so that's cool. All right. The deep lore, aka the real tea. So, Iran is a Shiite Muslim theocracy. Remember earlier when I was like, I'm going to tell you what a theocracy is? It's a form of government where Shia Islamic religious leaders or clergy, I love that word, clergy, hold ultimate authority and rule based on Islamic law, aka Sharia law. So it's a religious government instead of a secular. Is that what it's called? Government? I think that's what it's called when it's not. Okay, whatever. Democracy. It's just, you know, we separate religion and state here in the US. Like, I know that it's not that way in Iran. It's religion and government is all one situation. So Israel is a Jewish democratic state. So right off the bat, they don't see eye to eye religiously, culturally, or politically. But that's not even the main thing. Okay, let's get into this. This is the real beef. Iran does not believe that Israel should exist. Iranian leaders have literally called Israel a cancerous tumor. Okay, they've pushed this idea of liberating Palestine and wiping Israel off the map. They do not recognize Israel as a legitimate country. You probably know this. This is just a little refresher. Like, this is like the main thing. Like, the vibe, anyone who's like against or not even, there's a mindset out there that it should not exist, period. So Iran is like very pro delete Israel off the map. Okay. Iran backs anti-Israel groups. We talked about this earlier. They give money to and weapons, and they train Hamas, which is based in Gaza. We all know that. And Hezbollah, based in Lebanon, bordering Israel, Lebanon bordering Israel. Both are sworn enemies of Israel. These groups frequently launch rockets or attacks into Israeli territory. October 7th, for example. Like, we all know. I think this is more of a refresher segment. I'm happy to say, or I'm not happy to say any of this, to be honest. None of this is a happy topic, but I feel like this is the stuff you probably, before listening to this podcast, like, you already knew. So congratulate yourself on knowing this segment. Okay. You know about these two military groups that hate Israel and frequently attack them. Okay. So we're familiar with that. Cool. So Israel obviously considers them terrorist groups. Iran considers them resistance fighters. They're fighting the good cause to erase Israel from the map. And honestly, like, I'm not going to say like none of that. I'm not going to like, okay. I'm not going to say like rightfully so. I don't think any of this is right or just or anything, but like fucking Israel is doing some really crazy shit. Okay. And it's not helping them. Like, I think it's hurting them more than it's helping them at this point. And I get it. Like, I get I know what they have to, I get what they have to do, but it's so insane to see these massacres on a regular basis in Gaza. And I'm just like, okay, like, you know, and then I'm like, why can't they just, is this all about the hostages? Like, is that just like the final straw? Like, once they're all back, like 50, I think it's like 50 some people right now, like this all just ends? Like, no, of course not. It's more than that at this point. So it's almost too far gone to save or to, I don't know. Like, I feel like you guys are all thinking the same thing. Like, how the fuck does this end? Like, how, like, actually how? Does it end in World War III? I mean, does it end in nuclear, like, I honestly, like, I hear like, oh, nuclear war. And it's not that I don't take it seriously, but I'm like, are any of these countries actually gonna, like, actually gonna hit that button? Like for real hit that button? Like I feel like it's such a powerful thing. Like it's like obviously it's a nuke, but like to know another country has that and they could use it at any time. Like, but I don't feel like it's I don't know. I think it's gonna be. I don't know how it ends. Anyways, let's move on. So basically, Israel retaliates with targeted airstrikes every time Iran builds a weapons factory, ships missiles to Hezbollah, or funds a Hamas tunnel building budget. Israel bombs it. They also bomb other things like apartment buildings and fucking kids. They didn't include that here on the ChatGPT. I think they're so they don't usually say they did it, but everyone knows. Think of Israel like the petty older sibling who always claps back with precision. Not always precision. Let's, again, ChatGPT. I think I should have had it elaborate more on the other entities, people they're targeting, and how they're, it's just really fucking sad. Analogy for the, okay, here we go. So yeah, they're fucking each other up, basically. And October 7th was some bullshit. We all know that. Like, that didn't need to happen. I don't know if it was bound to happen. I don't know. Like, I really have no idea. But like, that was the catalyst for all of this shit, obviously. And I think I wonder what the region would look like today had that not have happened. Do you know what I mean? Like, it definitely, it's costing a lot of lives on both sides. And I think it's all very sad. And I'm like, I wonder, like, what it needs to be, I don't think it will ever be resolved. And I don't know how, like, I don't know what I'm going to see in my lifetime in that region. Like, I don't know. I almost feel like, it's just, they're going to bomb the fuck out of each other until neither place exists. Like, literally, it's just going to, everything's going to be flattened. There's going to be it's like, I'm sure there's going to be some sort of peace, something deal or I don't know. Like, I hope like something ends this, but Iran's involvement, Iran, I'm second guessing that again. Now that's stirring shit up even more. So, bonus context here. Iran uses. Okay. This is the U.S. political tea. So I kind of mentioned Biden earlier. So Biden's stance was stop Iran from getting nukes, but also avoid World War III. Trump wants less war, but is also threatening, or he was like the anti-war president. That's why people voted for him. He was like very against war. He wants people to stop dying. That famous quote. But he's also threatened to bomb Iran before. I think, I don't know. Like, I honestly think there's a difference between like, targeting certain facilities that are part of building the nukes and these leaders that are butchering people and shit, because that also is a thing. There's a difference between that and like full on like boots on the ground American troops on that soil and fucking war. And I just watched, by the way, Warfare. Holy fuck. I mean, I knew it was going to be hyper realistic. Is that realistic? That the portrayal of what were they? Marines. Was it Marines? Over in what country were they in? Iraq? It was the entire Warfare movie was based on the memory. That's all they had. The memory of the guys that did this mission that completely went sideways and they had to get rescued. And it was like, it was really chaotic and crazy. And these guys, their legs were fucking blown off and they're trying to keep them alive and they're trying to get rescued. And then tanks get fucking blown up by IUDs, and there's so many people shooting them, and it seemed like an impossible mission, but they ended up, I'll just spoil it, they ended up getting out of there. I think one guy died. Really sad, but we don't need that shit again. I know, like, we don't need that. We don't need a round two. Okay? We know what, I mean, look what happened in Iraq. It was like, for what? You know what? Yeah, it's just like, obviously, so whatever we do, it's like, keep our troops safe, keep them here, stop getting fucking involved in, like, we have to do what we have to do in terms of, I guess, supporting our bestie Israel, but I don't know. It's not good for business, though. Like, peace isn't good for business. All right, so here's the ChatGPT corny hot take for you. Let's just do a little palate cleanser, something kind of light and fun. Shit. We're talking about war, but the hot take from ChatGPT on this is everyone claims they want peace but votes like it's a Call of Duty lobby night. I just flashed back to like 10th grade, and when I used to think I was cool because I played Call of Duties, like the boys in high school that I had crushes on. So I'm well versed in what a lobby night is. Okay. So that's the ChatGPT cute. It's trying to be, ChatGPT is so cute. Like, it's so like fun, and like it was down to make light of a very serious situation when it helped me pump out this itinerary here today. Okay, let's talk about how serious this situation is, really. Like, how serious is it? Is World War III actually gonna happen? Okay, so good news. Full-scale war is unlikely unless Iran actually launches a nuke or hits Israel hard. So what's more likely are proxy wars, cyber attacks, airstrikes, and shady sabotage. So it's kind of one of those things where, it's like I said earlier, the region is unstable. Anything, like any little tiny flicker of a match is gonna fucking light a fuse and blow shit up. Like, it's that sensitive right now, or it feels that way at least. Yeah, so probably not. It could I feel like it's, I mean, are we gonna go to war? Like, is it gonna be a world war? We're due, right? Isn't that how it works? Like, every history repeats itself. It's 2025. Like, we're coming up on, you know, the birthday. You know, when people say birthday, oh my God, I am not okay. I just gagged on the word birthday. Oh my God. I keep playing it over. I'm trying to stop it. There we go. Birthday. That's how you say birthday. Oh my God. Do you ever do that? Where you're like, you get stuck on a word and you're like, that's gross. Birthday. My birthday is on July 7th, by the way. It's coming up. Oh my gosh. I just got a text from my mom. She's like, be a comedian. I'm laughing so hard. And she's watching my latest episode, I think. Oh, my last episode was so dramatic. The title, The Myth of Marriage, Money, and Modern Femininity. That's sweet. My sister called me the other day and she was dying at the thing I said about Stockton Rush. She's like, oh my God, that part when that always warms my heart. Whenever it's family giving me, you know, compliments on my podcast, it always like hits different than friends or strangers. Like, it always like makes me feel the best, because I don't know. Just, it like, we all like love and support each other. And I just feel really like, when I started this thing, I don't know what they thought of me at the time because I was a fucking mess. If you look at my like early episodes, my early podcasts, like YouTube videos, they were probably like, oh my God, this is like, fuck, you know, like, I don't know if this is like the right thing for her to do right now. Like she needs to get her life together. Here she is on a microphone 7 days a week. That's literally insane. So I don't know. It's just nice to see or whatever. I need to keep moving. Okay. So basically, let's like kind of like break it down in terms of a bar fight between women. Like ratchet, like, do I need to like allude to a certain culture right now? We've all seen the videos online. Okay. Basically it's like Iran beat the shit or no, Iran. Okay. So you're best friends with Israel. Your bestie's Israel. You're at a bar and this bitch across the bar starts throwing hands at your girl Israel. And Israel's like pulling her earrings off. She's like, you know, throwing punches back and you're like slipping her brass knuckles on the DL. Like that's the US's involvement in what's going on right now. It's like, here are more missiles. Here are like, here you go. We're supporting you. I don't even think it's on the DL, honestly, but that's the vibe. Okay. Let's discuss the military industrial complex. We're going to talk about money. Let's get the hypey music going. Military Industrial Complex 101 for you today on the show because we're educating ourselves about a topic that we don't know about. What's the military industrial complex? Why does it matter? Why is war good? Why is peace bad?
If I'm talking to you, then I'm standing on business, is it?
All right. I just love the clapping sound. All right, welcome to the first episode of The Real Housewives of Raytheon. What's Raytheon, you ask? I can't do this seriously. All right. So these private companies like Raytheon, Boeing, I can't say these, like, okay. Northrop. I asked Corey, I literally was pop quizzing him while I was doing research and I'm like, what's Northrop Grumman? And he like said it so quickly and so easily. And I'm like, he's just like, no, he's like, oh yeah, they like make jets and shit. And I'm like, huh? You know that? I'm like, wow, impressive. Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, Boeing. What's the other one that's huge? They make the F-35s and shit, the fighter jets and Lockheed Martin, okay? These are war's billionaire besties, okay? They build the bombs, they build the jets, they build the tanks, the drones, etc., okay? Basically, every time a bomb drops, they make money. Now, America... Let's wait for the beat to drop before I say this. All right, I'm really trying to like come to life. All right. Sorry, I'm like, okay, I can do this. America, right. America has a huge defense budget. Let's call it $1 trillion. It's really like 90 billion. I think that's what it was in 2024. But basically, Raytheon is Sephora for the Pentagon, okay? They get to spend that fucking budget on the drones, on the jets. They get to take that money and buy shit like it's fucking Sephora, okay? That's where all the money's going. All right. Okay. It's essential to have weaponry and defense objects in your military to defend your country. And so it's like, those are essential items. Okay. That the Pentagon uses, they take that budget, that huge defense budget. If you're like, where's the money going? They're buying shit with it to keep you safe. Okay. I'm going to say that's the vibe again. That's the vibe. Understand that it is a lot of money, but jets are expensive. I think a jet is literally $1 billion. So, now basically Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Northrop, they donate to politicians, influence defense policies, and push more conflict to justify more weapons. Okay. So again, when bombs drop, they make money. War is a good thing. Peace is a bad thing. The more the bombs drop, the more the money is made. Okay. How bullshit is that? Like, honestly, like, I think you already knew that before you listened today, but like, these companies that supply our militaries with weaponry and shit need to stay in business. They're bajillion-dollar companies. And so it's kind of like the whole system is like, it's so corrupt. It's like, okay, wait, let me like really wrap my head around this. I want to like focus right now and like think about this, about like how like human life lost is essential to keeping a company going. Like, let me dumb this down all the way. Like, they need constant conflict, like, literally, if they wouldn't be in business, like, what's the purpose of a fucking drone or a tank or a missile? It's to kill people. Like, it's to defend, it's to help defend a country. And literally, so it's like, okay, the purpose, let me dumb it down. The purpose of being a company where you make defense machinery and shit is to supply military so they can defend themselves from other countries and to protect them. It's essential. It's honestly like essential because people are fucking crazy. People want to kill their people. Iran thinks we're Satan. We got to defend ourselves from that because that's not cool. Israel or Iran wants to delete Israel from the map. We have to like defend, right? It's like we have to defend. So like it's really complicated, but like at the end of the day, that's why they exist. Like, I'm sad. Like, how the fuck, you know? The more I talk about this, the more I'm like, war is so pointless. Like, it's so all of it is so pointless. Like, can we all just fucking grow up? How many mushrooms can we drop on fucking Iran? Like, how many psychedelic, like, I feel like we just need to shower them with mushrooms and like MDMA and fucking blast rave music all over their country and just get everyone to like start loving and embracing and colliding their hearts with one another. We need to, we all just need to fucking party. Like, we all need to all these countries that hate each other. You need to do some Molly, do some mushrooms, you know, go to a rave together. We can do it in, where's a good location for that? We can do it in, let's do it in Israel. Let's heal Gaza. Let's fucking do it in Gaza. God damn, they need a rave. They need some fucking Molly and they need a rave. And they need to, you know what I mean? Like, why can't it, like, whenever I'm on drugs, you know, when you're like fucked up, maybe you're not on drugs. Okay, I've done everything, but like, you're like, you just want to love people. Like when you're, especially like, okay, drinking, like, let's make it simple. Like alcohol, fine. you just want to love people. You realize like we're all connected, all that, spiritual shit. And my little pea brain, my little American pea brain is so distraught by war. It's so distraught by this situation happening where it can't calculate like the point of it all. Like I understand now after the miles of research I've done, the deep lore, the early like ancient history of it all, and how complicated that is. But damn, So who's running Iran now? Yeah, this was okay. How I mentioned earlier, the Ayatollah guy that was Khomeini, right? Khomeini. This new guy is Ali Khamenei. Basically the same last name, but different. He became the supreme leader of Iran. After the Islamic Revolution, there was the initial Ayatollah that was exiled to France, and then he came back, and overnight it became an Islamic state, and that's when the women started wearing hijabs instead of bikinis. We talked about that. Now, in 1989, he died, and this guy who's still in power now. Is Ali? He's the guy on the news you're seeing. Is Ali Khamenei? Just gonna call him Khamenei. He wasn't elected. He's basically a religious monarch. It's a lifetime position, and he says that God gave him authority to rule. Here's some lore. The president was Ebrahim Raisi. As of 2021, he was called the Butcher of Tehran due to his role in mass executions. That's the president. Now, the president doesn't have as much pull as Ayatollah. Ayatollah he's got the final say on shit. But there is a president. This guy was Raisi. Raisi was the president as of 2021. Butchered a bunch of people. Okay. He died in a helicopter crash in May of 2024. But this Ali Khamenei guy is still running the show. And apparently he has cancer. Rumors of him having cancer has been swirling for years. And he's got a successor, his son, that will take his place. Again, it's a lifetime position, not appointed or not elected. Basically, God told him to do it, and he's like, okay. So he's in it. He's leading it, and he wants Israel gone. So this is life in Iran today. Culture and restrictions. Mandatory hijab for women. No public dancing, singing, or showing hair. They can't attend. This is specific. They can't attend men's soccer matches. Morality police patrol the streets. Here's something that happened in 2022. Masa Amini, 22, dies after being detained by morality police for improper hijab. That's when there was a huge protest. I remember that. Thousands of women were arrested, dozens killed. Here's a cultural contradiction for you. Iran has one of the most educated female populations in the region, but they have zero freedom. Here's something crazy. There are secret underground raves in Tehran. Influencers post with VPNs. So they risk being arrested, basically. So they can dance and shake their ass and post TikToks, which is honestly so fucking cool. So what did we learn? Oh man, a lot. What did we learn? In conclusion, I need to wrap the episode. I'm proud of this timeline. I feel like, did we stay? It's 2:55. I feel like, yeah, that was a good amount of time. Do I want to, I'll probably ramble after this, but for like 2 minutes about my life and what's going on with me. Cause I know you're probably like, I tuned in for you and you totally like shoved some crazy information down my throat today, but it's important that you know that. I'm trying to erase your brain rot. I'm trying to do my public service here. Now that we have AI as a tool in our back pocket 24/7, I just think influencers, I'm going to start a revolution. Like, I know there's a lot of educators out there online. Thank God, God bless. And there's a lot of people that just entertain and talk about nonsense on their fucking podcast like me. Okay. And imagine what the world would be like if everyone just they just taught people important things. And that's all we ever consumed. Like, I don't know. That's kind of fucking boring, honestly. Sometimes you just need to release. You need to hear someone talk about their stinky pipes in their bathroom. Like my situation right now. I honestly thought Corey was missing when he was peeing at night and peeing on the walls. Because it was starting to smell like a porta potty. And I feel like in porta potties, it's a lot of just piss everywhere that doesn't get cleaned. That's the smell. But I know it's the pipe because I put my nose to the pipe that's like coming out of the wall where the water goes in and out. The pipe stinks. So I'm like, what's going on? So in conclusion, what did we learn? The Middle East is messy, ancient, and full of real human pain, but also layered in so much propaganda and trauma that most people don't even know where to start. If you feel confused, that's normal. At the end of the day, this is about power, fear, memory, and trauma, all playing out on a land people keep calling sacred. Iran used to be hot and chill. Now it's complex, dangerous, and heavily surveilled. The U.S. is deeply entangled because of oil control and a history of meddling. Israel and Iran are in a standoff that could go nuclear. The military-industrial complex profits heavily from keeping it all messy, and yeah. Basically, shit's fucked, and now you know why it's fucked. Great episode. I think we'll exit with a jingle here. Thank you so much for listening today. I was going to talk. Wait, am I going to talk about my day? Oh my God. You know, when you're excited and you're like, I don't know why I'm excited, but I'm excited today. And you're like, wait, I know there's something exciting. For me right now, it's those outfits on my doorstep. I didn't pick up those boxes on my doorstep when they got delivered because I was deep in the research in the rabbit hole for this episode. So like right now, butterflies are, is that like is that like a dopamine spike? Now I'm excited. Had a great episode. Life is good. Had my caffeine. I had my conversation. I did my thing. Now I'm going to go rip open boxes, let my dogs out, lay in the sun, get a little tan, try on my new outfits, and pray for the people in the Middle East, honestly. Like, God bless them. This is all so sad. You know? I'm happy to say I understand it now, and I learned a lot. I hope you learned a lot today. I hope you took away something new here that you didn't know. I think that was my goal. Maybe you knew 90% of this, but you learned, 2 new things. That's great. That makes it worth it to me that I spent all this time. I was gonna do it anyways. A lot of the times it's like, hey, I want to educate myself, and I know if I do that, it's gonna help you too. So we can learn together. And that's beautiful. So I think with that, please hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening right now. I'm on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Breaker, Overcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. I hate this spiel. Just subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening right now. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Jacqueline Monroe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is a video and audio podcast. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Jacqueline Monroe Show, over on YouTube. And if you want to support the show, patreon.com/TJMS, patreon.com/TJMS. And finally, if you understand what the hell Hezbollah means now, give me a 5-star review. I think in the beginning I said, give me a 5-star review if you don't know what Hezbollah means. Now that I've taught it to you, give me a 5-star review if you know what it is, now that you know what it means. Because I put that in your brain, that it's a military group in Lebanon that's like besties with Iran. because they fucking hate Israel and they want to delete it off the map. And how fucking crazy is that? Did I reveal my take on this? I didn't. You know how I said I was going to like leave that for the end? Just know that I always knew the US got involved in other people's shit, but the more I read about this and the more I, did my research and explained it here to you, like the more I realize how, like, while our intentions are good, I guess, because it's going to help us be a prosperous country by doing what we do. In other countries, like, what's the point? It's got to be a beneficial thing for us, right? But like, the more I read about it, I'm like, I feel like we just fuck shit up for ourselves and other people when we do that, when we get involved. And that's probably why they fucking hate us. So, like, I don't know it. I know it's more complex than that, but it seems like U.S. involvement and policing the world constantly is not a good thing. In my lifetime, and from what I've witnessed, I don't see it. I don't see how it's positive. Like, I think it seems like you know what I mean? Like, come on. Can't we just take care? I mean, eggs are $13. You know, can we work on that problem? Can we work on what's going on here and stay out of people's shit? Cool. I'm falling asleep. I'm going to go open those packages and get a dopamine surge and try on cute outfits and edit this episode and post it. I hope you have a great weekend. Happy first day of summer. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.